For round two. Hello again, my name is Nicholas Chenault. I want to thank you all for having this forum. I think it's been very informative, and it's very interesting that the district supervisor is not here. I think that speaks very loudly. But have you all looked at the Berkeley model? Berkeley does have a crisis team that's not police officers. And with all due respect, I do look at police officers as paramilitary, not with the BA in sociology with a master's and sociology, that kind of, or psychology. So I think if somebody came up to me and I was in a crisis and they were in uniform and they had that kind of paramilitary kind of style, I would be less compliant or more resistant than if a soft-spoken, well-spoken person came up to me and tried to confide in me to kind of not hurt myself. So I would hope that the police commission would actually contact the Berkeley police, and see how they come about resolving this, because as I understand it, Berkeley doesn't use tasers, but they talk people down very, very well. The other thing that I'd like to add is, given that San Francisco is 20% LGBT and 50% of that LGBT population is HIV positive, therefore maybe on age drugs, and age drugs do cause coronary problems, I hope that you would add that to your list of things to look at in terms of how will the HIV medications affect somebody if they're having problems with heart medications, antivirals. And there was the Asian American man that spoke earlier about language barriers. I don't know if you all are familiar with this, but in another state, there was a woman, a Chinese-speaking woman, who went into an Apple store the day before. She bought 2 iPhones. She came back the next day to buy 4 iPhones. And for some reason, they thought she was, I don't know, going to pirate them or whatever. But anyways, they asked her to leave. They refused to sell her the additional iPhones. The police officer that was called to the scene tasered this woman. And the daughter explained later, she only spoke Chinese. She had no idea why they wouldn't sell her the iPhones or what they were asking her to do. So we have also 20% of San Francisco is Asian American. A lot of people in the Asian American community only speak Chinese or some other Asian language. So I think that's a concern in terms of, we've seen this happen in other parts of the country. And in terms of the sheriff's department does get deployed. When they closed down the Castro in 2008 and 2009, very, for Halloween, it was the sheriff's department in uniform that were also present with the San Francisco PD and the probation department. So the sheriff's department does get deployed here in San Francisco. And I guess the last thing is that, I think our police chief is a trustworthy person. I believe you when you say what you say. But you're going to retire at some point. And it's the person after you that comes who may not have the point of view that you have. I think one of the most favorable things that I heard about you, and I was very grateful for, is one of the first memos you did was on the Joint Terrorism Task Force. When you said that police officers have to follow the rules of San Francisco if they're part of the Joint Terrorism Task Force versus the FBI or the federal rules. And I thought that was a very powerful statement that you made, saying that you're going to align with San Francisco values. And I think that was important because when people talk about, maybe over there or maybe out in West or down South, tasers are everywhere. Yes, but we have San Francisco values. That's why people fought so hard for this nudity ban on both sides. That's why the Board of Supervisors voted 5-6 to ban nudity. You think any other community would take the time and energy to debate nudity in a city? Come on. But because we have San Francisco values, they're special to us. We've lived here. We've worked hard to make this a community for everybody. Doesn't matter your race, doesn't matter your ethnicity, doesn't matter your language, doesn't matter your income. If you're in San Francisco, we have a certain, I don't know how to say it, but a certain love for one another. And tasers just don't speak that love. I understand logically that if I have to shoot somebody and the alternative is to use a taser, man, shoot me with a taser. But how about the repercussions? How about the people that, because of a taser in hand will get shot at more often because it's quote-unquote less lethal, which we've heard that it's not always less lethal, and therefore increase the deaths over time because an instrument's used that could cause death. So I understand that this is a way to be more humane to people. But you know, we are very humane with animals when we euthanize them. I don't want to be that humane. Thank you.